We had UKG's Aspire late November, and we were trying to think of things to do in terms of events, and trying to get customers to come by your booth can either be a hit or a miss. But we were thinking outside of that in terms of what can we do to add more value. Sometimes going to these events, they're daunting for us as partners, but they're even more daunting sometimes for the actual attendees. One of the things that we noticed was that there was an entire thread unfolding between the customers where they were sharing how daunting it actually was to attend an event like UKG's Aspire, and how they necessarily didn't have someone to go to lunch with or go attend a session with. So we were thinking about things that we can potentially do to alleviate that for the customer. So we decided to throw an introverted murder mystery. And it was specifically targeted to folks that didn't necessarily like the idea of socializing, but then still wanted to be able to connect with other folks in one of the most safest and easiest ways possible. So on the Monday night before, Aspire kicked off, we did our murder mystery night, and it was super successful. We had about 60 folks attend, and we didn't just stop there either. What we did was that we also created a survey prior to that, asking them if they wanted to have a partner in crime for the rest of the week, or if they prefer to be like a solo detective. We actually tailored the entire murder mystery to shift filling. It was the case of the missing schedule, so it tied back to us in the end. And then the other thing that we did hand in hand with that was that we created a scavenger hunt for folks throughout the entirety of the rest of the event. When we did the scavenger hunt, we chose partners that we hadn't had in our ecosystem prior to that. And then we picked out a few partners that we were like, you know what, these guys would actually be a great fit. And maybe what we could do on top of that, instead of it just being a scavenger hunt where they go to the booth and take a photo, let's go to that actual partner and ask them to come up with a prompt by themselves. So with one of our partners, their question to the folks attending Aspire, participating in the scavenger hunt was, what do we do to help or support UKG? That was their prompt. And so they'd answer that question. Another one was, how do we solve X problem for vacation planning? So it was a myriad of different things, but we specifically chose partners that we haven't had a relationship with prior to in the past. And so when the time came, I sent out a follow-up being like, hey, maybe there's other ways that we could potentially collaborate together. They were like, yeah, absolutely. Let's schedule a meeting for, next week or the week after. And yeah, everything's been pretty good. But like I said, it's probably the small thing that has made the biggest impact for us over the last couple of weeks.